and gentlemen, the Warbosses of the Apocalypse.
What's the crack?
Are we on? Are we on?
We are on. We are on.
Hey!
Who did start?
I was
I think I counted down for nothing. Like, you know what I mean?
I was zoned out there, viewers. I'm currently reading all your live comments. I see
Ambitious, but rubbish.
Dread has kept you all entertained. I see in the chat. You know, he said he couldn't be with us tonight, but he's in the chat and he's on your screen, as you can see.
He is here in spirit.
With my horrific green screen. But there he is. Look.
Yeah.
Looks like he's got his arm round me there.
In many ways, he has.
Even in the small does.
I mean, you definitely look like you're in a Shinado kind of video.
It is. I am going to remove the green screen now. One more quick look at his beautiful face. There you go, viewers. So,
there you go.
All the Dread fans out there, there you go.
Take them off. But I think he was last seen trying to overthrow the American government, wasn't he? Little shaman there. Let's get rid of that noise.
Mega shaman strikes again.
There we go. Boom.
So,
Resumed.
yeah, sorry to keep you waiting, guys, but yeah, we are now live. And we're going to do a little bit more of what we did last week, which we quite enjoyed doing. We did the green stuff, which Dim was showing us all how to do. And I learned some new stuff, and hopefully you guys did too. This time, we're just going to work on whatever. We're all going to do a bit of hobby and chit-chat about Ork Mercenaries. But I guess before we do that, I welcome in everyone else we've got here today. We have Sydney, the Drunken Ork.
Arit.
We have Essex Boys. Skarner from Plastic Crack Gaming.
What's the crack?
And we seem to have lost Dim, the Hobby Git.
Hello from Australia.
I'll get you.
I
next
don't
time,
know what's
Gadget.
happened.
I tell you what, Dim. I tell you what. There you go. Just it's not you. It's the other three.
Are you having some technical problems there, Dim?
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking hell.
Rotate.
So while Dim sorts that out, I guess we'll talk about what we're going to be working on tonight. I am going to continue to work on my runt herd here for the character build-off competition that we're doing. He's the one I green stuffed last week. Sid, what are you going to be working on?
I'm going to try and do a cheaty way to do rivets on a model I've already painted. And if that doesn't work, I'll split my dummy and paint a truck.
Scardo?
I am going to continue the wonky Christmas tree build that comes up invisible because of the green screen. Oh, well, hold on. If I do my background, maybe.
Essex, what about you?
I'm going to try and mech a glyph for my secret project build, which isn't so secret.
Oh, I think it's secret.
Bike.
And
A big mech on bike.
Dim, what are you going to be working on?
Fixing this fucking thing, probably.
Right at the end of the episode, finally, yay!
Have you got the droid cam control panel? Sorry to go off topic a little bit here.
So we haven't got on it yet.
Hello, Dim. Can you hear me?
That's not the droid cam. That's the problem.
Turn your camera upside down.
So I'm a bit freaked out actually, because I'm going to be painting on camera.
I mean, as long as you're not doing high detail, you should be fine.
Hi,
Well, that's unfortunate. But I've never done it. Ever.
Never painted on camera?
Never.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. Yeah,
What's
but
that?
look, I did
Hey.
Well, cheese grommet.
I was exactly what I was thinking.
That's good, Skag Grommet.
But no, I did green stuff on camera last week. I did pretty much the first serious thing I've ever done with it, and that was a little bit daunting. It's probably just a bit of a thing I have. But yeah, I'm gonna be
It's called perfectionism.
yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Scar is just rolling up a fatty at the moment.
I know, yeah, it does look a bit green, doesn't it? Don't worry, anyway, it's only Woodland Scenic's finest, so you know what I mean. It's the legit stuff.
So
It's good
hang
shit.
on a minute. Is this not the? But what about the Woodland Twigs finest?
Oh Jesus, I'm not made of money. I'm mad.
Long bottom leaf.
That wasn't Woodland Scenics, thankfully. But how?
No, I wasn't. No.
No, my God. America's finest twigs.
Although Woodland Scenics did have a box of twigs, and that was still pricey, but it wasn't that level.
Their clump foliage I do like, but you know, I'm not enamored of paying 10 quid a pack for like fucking twigs. I was loving Sid's observation. He's like, "Oh my God, the woodland around us. We're surrounded by a fortune, lads. Jesus." Gold mine, absolute gold mine.
Scar, the trick you told me to try with the mixing medium, it worked beautifully. I've been working on this trophy, which I'll reveal on the channel very soon for our meetup. And I had a lot of frosting from the super glue come up. And yeah, you told me to try the mixing medium. So I was like, oh, I've got some of that. And yeah, I just very lightly painted it over the frosting and it instantly disappeared. And it has not returned. It was instantaneous.
Yeah.
What was that you put on then?
Just mixing medium.
Mixing medium.
Lamia medium as well for like
right.
whatever sort of medium you're using for your paints. You'd be able
Lamia medium, yeah.
Up here, I'm mixing medium. All right, cool. That's good to know.
And it's just, yeah, it sort of looks a little bit, you know, I put it on and I'm like, oh, because you squirt it out, it's white basically, and you're like, oh, I don't actually paint it.
That happens.
But it's
to the best of us, yeah.
It's like a PVA glue, you know, in many respects. But yeah, it just tiny little bit on the brush and painted it, and it was just gone, evaporated. And like I said, I thought, oh, maybe I'll return when it dries, but no. So yeah, that's a good little top tip for people. If you get a bit of that frosting on your painted minis, try a bit of that.
I'm not a fan of knowledge, but every now and then I come out with a nugget of gold.
So yeah. just to round off the tip, would would that work?
Oh dear.
Would that work if you get frosting?
Did you wait till I sipped?
No. Purely accidental.
Yeah.
Would that work? I've had that frosting before, and like, you know, the cockpits, the clear plastic stuff.
Yeah.
Does it work on that?
I don't know. Maybe test it on like a flying stand or some bit of something, a sprue bit that they come off. Maybe.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Just interesting.
I doubt it because it'll be on the inside, won't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you won't be able to get it the inside because you've glued it. That's where the frosting's come from. So
you could fill a little open a paracetamol with dissolvable shell, fill it with the medium. By the time you've glued the cockpit on, it will have dissolved and released the liquid, and then just give it a fucking shake and it'll go.
We could just use PVA.
Or use PVA.
PVA works.
Yeah, I think that's the safe bet, isn't it?
PVA, no, whatever. Inside the box.
But no, so, I mean, Dread gave me the advice as well of using the some sort of alcohol thing or something that I didn't have, and I'm like, but yeah, Scar's suggestion was better because I had it at hand. And I'm
Yeah,
impatient.
the alcohol does work as well, mind, because I got a fighter, like a Dagger Jet, and I got like 6 or 7 whiskies in, and I didn't fucking care anymore. So that worked an absolute treat, so I can recommend that.
Apparently nail polish remover as well is one that's meant to be quite good.
Yeah, the acetane.
But I think with that, it would likely affect the paint. And I think this medium, I mean, I barely touched the actual painted bits, but it didn't have any negative effects on them. So yeah, I think as long as it's just a tiny, I'll just use a little detail brush, a tiny little dab of it on there, and just very gently paint it over them. And yeah, so good top hobby tip there for you, peeps.
Definitely.
Oh, Dim, you're fixed. What are you working on?
I was just sitting here thinking cockpit. He means his pubes. No.
It's 2024.
I'm working on a super secret project. I don't know if I'm going to film it. I haven't decided yet.
Oh,
because it might be.
So we might see you head down.
Well,
on the rounded tip.
Yeah, I'll probably show it though, because I mean.
Yeah, whip it out. Show everyone.
Yeah.
Jesus,
you'll feel better after you've done it.
I did that before, but court order and stuff like that.
Steady.
Stay on target.
Stay on target.
I'm staying quiet because I don't know if Scar pressed the button or not.
Push the button.
And when I've watched the replays, I'll talk over them.
Happens to the best of us.
So we're talking mercenaries.
Now, Steve-O, do you mean orcs being the mercenaries or orcs using mercenaries?
Well, Sid, that's a very good question.
Thank you.
I mean both.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's I don't know where we start with it really. I think it's more well known at the moment that like blood axes regularly sort of hire themselves out as mercenaries. I think that's probably the most common held sort of knowledge of that. But certainly as you go back through older editions, not only did orcs hire themselves out as mercenaries to each other and other races and factions, but they also hired mercenaries. And yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to talk about, especially as it's a shame Dred's not here actually, although hopefully he's taking part in the chat, because freebooters they're obviously big on the mercenary side of things. Dim, your rebel grots, I'm sure you've got ideas and stuff to talk about there, and obviously Scar with your blood axes.
Blood axes, filthy blood axe scum. Love it.
Yeah, the blood axes. The thing I remember most about blood axes being mercenaries is that they'd be hired to defend a planet or whatever they were, hired to defend, and then afterwards they'd turn around and then batter the people who'd hired them and just take the stuff for themselves anyway, whatever it may be.
Fuck yeah.
Ever the opportunist.
I'd like to see that at the end of the Magnificent Seven. Do you know what I mean? Just at the end when the seven, or however many's left, just are stood there just sticking out with the villagers. That'd be very good.
Yeah, I was reading over some of the old lore myself to sort of refresh my memory and had it down in a notepad. And do you think I'd have the notepad handy? But yeah, no, in the old Rogue Trader days, so in Warg, the Orcs and such, you had mercenaries.
Good shot.
They'd use either Ogrins and humans, because with the old lore for the Ogrins was pretty much like the Ogrins were like penal colonies that were abandoned, and then when they were refound, obviously the humans had sort of gotten to Ogrin size and a bit thicker. So if the Imperium found them first, they'd be indoctrinated into the Imperial cult. But if they were found by orcs, you could have them in your orc army. so they could be folded in, and that was pretty cool. They even gave you examples in like
Yeah.
the old books of
Cool.
what banners to give them. So like Ogrin and like mercenary humans units would have banners to sort of fit in with the army, and also to warn the other orc units as well. So there'd be, it'd be a banner given by the Warboss, and it'd have glyphs on it, such as friends of the Warboss would be one, or an example given, or another example given that, for mercenary allies would be like, don't shoot your comrades. These are all being glyphs, orky glyphs, or look out, friendly scum, orc allies. These were little tidbits I found in the old books. So, there is there. You had advisors as well.
That's cool.
You had trusted advisors. You can have them that they were humans or other orc races. Obviously, in the shadows, you don't want all of the tactics and glory that the Warbosses earned to be given to his advisors. He's winning because of his advisors. So, yeah, there's a lot of it there. Especially if you go further back, it's more prevalent in the older lore. But there is still, like the Battle of Glazier's Creek. I was watching a video there by Janovich today, and part of it talks
Classic
about
battle report.
hiring out blood axes, and then coming out to fight orc forces. So the Imperials actually have the blood axes as allies, and then it sort of they sort of tip off the orcs that are there, and things go sideways. So it is in the lore. Anybody else got anything to speak on?
Oh, there we are.
I think we've covered it.
Yeah, more or less have.
See you next week, guys.
See you guys next week. I think I think it is quite sort of funny that, like, probably the main user of sort of mercenaries is freebooters and dreading. Yeah. It's good. But then
I've always thought the main user was blood axes. I always thought blood axes were used to more than freebooters. I know the name freebooter sort of implies.
Definitely the use of human mercenaries, absolutely, and probably also of the clans the most to use use mercenaries. But freebooters kind of are mercenaries by definition, pretty much. Is that what you're going to say?
I always saw freebooters as hiring themselves out as mercenaries to other orc clans.
Yeah.
As opposed to sort of like by humans, whereas
but you do get freebooter armies as well, yeah.
You'll get a bit of both.
But a freebooter force will be made up entirely of mercenaries, and I suppose you could say they use themselves as an army.
Yeah, I think what differentiates
but it's kind of semantics, yeah.
blood axes is that they more adopt strategies and tactics and even sort of like cultures and things from the humans or I guess other races as well.
Well, the issue is
particularly like they've been framed as it, like, taking a lot of human sort of camo and certain sneaky tactics and things.
Yeah, the issue is that they've the freebooters, the blood axes, in the rogue trader days, their population was kind of wiped out, which for modern orcs with sporing and stuff doesn't make as much sense as it used to in the old law. I still think it can work because you could still take that law that, like, the blood axes were popular because they were.
Well, they were supposed to be like the leaders. They were
the ones that were successful. My personal headcanon on that is because I'm dubious to whether or not the clans exist before kind of the reimagining of orcs, when they started encountering things in the universe that wanted to fight them for the first time in a long time, which is basically when the Imperium turns up during the Great Crusade. That's when I think clans started.
Well, it is part
at that point.
The big party was the Orky Civil War, so to speak, where the Blood Axes got the raw deal.
Yeah, but when that happened, I don't think we know. I don't recall anyway.
Well, it's in Warg the Orc, so it's back in the day. So it's supposed to be, ye olden days.
So is this law like, so it's totally, it's got nothing to do with Croak. Is that like a new thing as far as the lore goes?
The Croak were kind of invented when they made some changes to how 40k is. So it was the Croak. The Croak kind of while the Orc story still kind of works, even if you take the Croak out of it. The original origin story in War of the Orcs is that Orcs had a planet where they had a fungus that made Snotlings smart, and they were the Brain Boys. Whereas now you get an awful lot of people arguing, no, the Brain Boys are the old ones, and I just think that's a bit dumb because it's like it makes no fucking sense whatsoever. But also the other thing is that it could be both at the same time. And nobody ever accepts that. But
before it was something you could more, like a lot of 40k lore, it was something you could speculate on, wasn't it? And discuss and debate.
Yeah.
And I hope they never do.
They sort of, as the lore has developed, you know, through tied in a lot with the Necrons lore.
Yeah, the old ones couldn't really come in with the Necrons, yeah.
Yeah, it's really developed it, and they've taken it further, and they've delved further in and revealed so much more of it. So it kind of
although the old ones were there, I'm pretty sure they do get a mention at some point, but I don't think they had anything to do with the Orcs at the time. I seem to recall. Could be wrong on that. I wanted to reread War of the Orcs before we started, but I was going to read Freebooters this time anyway. But I don't recall that being the case. But the Croak are very, very old. So like they're fucking ancient. This is the kind of the thing I try to communicate to people who go on about Croak. The Croak are like before all of the races. Long time. Like, I mean, well, I say that. I think the humans had been created by this point, but we're talking like before the Imperium even existed. So it's like ancient times when the Necrons were around before they went into hiding. That's how long ago. And what we do know is that eventually, over time, they became the Orcs. That's what we do know, or suspect, anyway. And the big party, when that happened, you know, at some point when clans come into the picture. Nobody knows when clans come into the picture. Probably, I think it makes more sense that they sort of crop up when the Orcs start having their reinvention, when they start encountering stuff on the worlds that they're on that can actually fight back.
See, the way I see it now with that, and we will get back on topic soon, people, talk about mercenaries, but I see the clans as a little bit of almost leftover traits from when they were Croak. Bad moons being like the merchant type, you know, all the different aspects, but they would be, I guess, more sort of less simple than the Orcs. You know, it's
I do
suspect
there are lingering elements of the clans from the old days. And given that Orcs have genetic memory, it could absolutely make sense for it to be the old worldy stuff. But I think the thing is that the vestiges of what those clans used to be has probably changed, because that's the thing with Orcs is they don't have straightforward access to that knowledge. Like, strictly speaking, a Orc mech can make teleportation and force field technology. But most of the time, whenever he does it, he's tapping into a subconscious set of knowledge that he doesn't reliably know how to use. So that genetic knowledge of the clans could be completely misinterpreted by the Orcs. And so the modern version of what clans are is probably nothing like what they were. But they probably do have something to do with the old Orcs, the Croak, because the clans are basically heraldry. So they probably did have something, but you know, all we can do is speculate, really.
And if you want to know more about Ork War energy, you can look back through our playlist and find a whole episode where we talked about that. So I'm gonna bring us back on topic.
Stay on target.
where do you see your
Stay
armies
on
going
target.
with in regards to mercenaries? Is there any element of it, for mine, not really, other than from a lore perspective, in that they will hire themselves out, and they will hire other like orc, clans and tribes and things to fight for them, as they did with Dread and Essex in the meetup.
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah,
yeah, it's about as far
I've a
as it
few
went.
miniatures stashed away for.
Yeah, see, Scar, I see your army as like a perfect candidate to have like a squad of Ogrins or something.
Well, that's what I have. I have like an Imperial officer as an advisor, the old one with the sort of the saber, and then I have a load of second edition Ogrins. And there is a data sheet that's coming out soon, or I think might even be out at this stage. That's community made. That's the Imperial Advisor. And I wouldn't mind making that up and having a crack at it.
That's good.
Yeah, just I liked the older lore where it was a lot more involved, and it adds more fluff to it, where there's a lot more cross pollination in the universe, and orcs built empires and such, and they'd have planets that would be subjugated to them and just pay them tithes in armaments and stuff like that, and that the orcs would pretty much defend those planets then from external forces. It was a pretty good deal for the humans as well. They didn't have to put up with the imperial cults sort of shenanigans, so they could do what they wanted, really. And that's how I envision my sort of army, is not based on a planet, but it's actually like an armada that sort of disperses and gathers together strategically when needed, if you get me.
Yeah.
Hence the big, massive battle fleet, Gothic fleet that I have for my orcs. That was all part of it. But yeah, that's how I envision it. Bit of crack, definitely be usable. I've always wanted to sort of have Imperial Guard units in my army, like just bog standard, maybe a Lamanrus battle tank or something like that. Nothing OP, you know what I mean? Just a bit of fluff, have guardsmen, but they're not guardsmen, if you get me. They're just sort of palantir defense forces, just with no Aquillas on them, but they'd have the same sort of gear, I would assume. I wouldn't really see them being diggers, as people like to envision, where they emulate the orcs. I'd see it more as this is a planet that the orcs own the space in, like mobsters. You know what I mean? Once you pay your dues, you're left alone. So that's how I'd see it with Beat Me Blood Axes.
That's
I do find the digger thing very overdone.
Well, it seems to be a perception that some folk have, where it's like, oh, humans in an orky army. Not that I'm saying it's wrong. It's just not what I would lean towards myself. Humans in an orc army must be like orcified or whatever. Or another one that seems to be leaned into is the cornification of Demon Killer. What's his name? Tuska Demon Killer.
Tuska,
yeah. You see people doing him up like a demon prince and stuff, and it's like, well, he's not actually a demon prince. He's a warboss that's brought back to life. So you might have a few bits of accoutrements. Maybe his axe or such would be a cornate axe that he's looted off of someone.
Yeah,
stuff like
maybe
that.
You see, I always thought that, like, if he's got, say, he kills a bloodthirster, any orc who kills a demon, it's a decent trophy for a trophy rack.
Yeah.
But if he's dead and he's brought back, does he come back with the stuff he's just picked up?
Does he come back with his new toys? Or
yeah, I realise that's probably looking a little bit too deeply into it.
Yeah, but I don't, like, for the sake of that, I wouldn't see him as a demon prince. Like, I wouldn't see him painted red with, chaos symbols on him and such. Not to say that didn't used to happen back in the day, because it did, Rarely, but it did happen.
I don't mind the red thing, to be fair. Because, being fungus, ultimately, on a different sort of planet, plane, and something outside of the realms of reality, it could be affected differently. Again, but we're looking at science in this
Science in the 44th millennium.
Yeah, exactly.
Essex, do you have any mercenaries in your list, or are you planning on utilising that?
My big mech Mel, he's kind of like a mercenary in my sort of own sort of headcanon lore, because he sort of, he'll build stuff for anyone, for any clan kind of thing, but only within kind of the Orky. I just see him as he's got like the best shop in his little bit of the galaxy,
Yeah,
and like all Warbosses come to him to get shit done because he likes building stuff, and he'll just make stuff for anyone
nice.
as long as they pay enough teeth for it. So that's kind of, but actual mercenaries in my force, no, not really. I don't really see them. It's like no humans or
Orcs
Ogrins or nah.
Orcs often take a dim view of it just because it's like what you need to be paid in order to fight. Is fight not enough a reward for you? Is a thing that a lot of orcs have, so they tend to take umbrage with mercenaries, which is why most mercenaries tend to be freebooters, because they're already getting booted out for something. So that it might just be that they're just getting booted out because they're demanding payment. Although I think if you're getting paid in teeth, it's all right. I think the thing is it's like plunder and stuff like that. It's like gold and shiny things, and a lot of orcs do not get that at all. Like, because it's an external thing. Orcs are very mistrustful of external things.
Yeah, but you'd think that would be even better, wouldn't you? I mean, if somebody's willing to work for something which you hold absolutely no value to, that's got to be a good thing, isn't it?
Well, I suppose the Imperials would see it that way. You're going to fight for the teeth of skulls of dead orcs. Yeah, all right, mate. There you go.
Oh, you drive
have you Phil?
Oh, you got one there.
Fill your boots. There's a graveyard. Knock yourself in.
But it's also kind of like it's just one of those sort of semi-charm and slightly annoying hypocrisies of orcs, because orcs will literally like conquer worlds to make things for them in tribute. So I mean, that's just booty by another way. So in reality, what orcs are doing when they're kicking freebooters out is not really having standards. They're just finding another way to fight each other. That's what it boils down to more than anything. It's just another way. It's like basically, strictly speaking, if you want to understand how orcs look at each other, look at British football. I think actually American football will probably work too, actually. But it's just like some of the contrived sort of bullshit that we have of rival teams, except all the things said about Sunderland, because all the things said about Sunderland.
I was going to see what you talking about contrived.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
Stay on target.
No bias whatsoever. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Dim, your army, the rebel Grots, I would see as being such a good candidate for utilizing mercenary units of, being diminutive, and I think they would welcome like some troll-like or ogre-like creatures, or some kind of alien life forms that are sort of easy enough
do
to
the heavy lifting kind of thing,
tame into joining them, or paid off, or whatever. So
the weird thing is that like I didn't really look at it in that angle. I probably could have done stuff like that, but what I ended up doing was I had a subsection of my rebels, like subsequently, like this character, which is like supposed to be my character called the Scrap Lord, who I made, and he's basically just like it's an odd one, right? Bear with me, but he's a Yorkshire. He's based on like Yorkshire scrap dealers, specifically that character archetype, right? There's a good one in like a Michael Palin offshoot that wasn't the Pythons, called Ripping Yarns, and there's a good example, and I basically stole that guy. But I just like the idea that there would be a subsection, and also it's based on certain other things like Dad's Army, weirdly enough. But like the fact the Spiv, one of them's a Spiv. He's like Private Walker. He can get you anything you want, mate. You know, just no questions asked. Just give us a bit of cash. And I just like the idea of in war and even in revolution, there's always people out to make a buck. So like the ones that I've got that are sort of mercenary-ish, they are just hyper capitalist, and they're just out to make money. So they just hire like grots within the revolution, outside of the revolution in Orc society, and just go, right, well, we're going to extort. So we're going to get there first after the battle's done, get all the really good stuff, and go, you want it, pay me. And if you don't pay me what I want, I'm going to go to the other side. And that's the way that I went with it. Because that's just seemed the most Grot-like way to deal with it. But in my Rebel Grot army directly, I don't have much in the way. I did make some. I do actually want to make like a freebooter army at some point. So like I do have like I haven't finished the paint job. Ignore the paint job. The paint jobs are awful, and I use GW paints which I no longer use. So I don't know when I'll finish them off. But I don't rate GW's paints. You might noticed.
Is that Santa?
But this is the GW Ogrins with just a couple of Ork bits added on. But you'll notice. I mean, this is. Like the paint job doesn't help show the details, but basically, like Ork choppers make perfect bayonets. The jaw plates fit. Use the knob, jaw plates, and the knob shoulder pads.
They look
They
quality.
fit lovely. Like
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like it takes no effort whatsoever, and you can orcify them up very easy. I also want to run. I also have. I don't know why I want to do this, right? But there is part of me that wants to do another Grot army that isn't Rebel Grot. Because I've got a very big soft spot for Gretchen bandits. I think I mentioned them last time, but they're just really vicious grots.
Are these like the time
properly-
bandits, but they're like gobbo flavored?
No, that would be even cooler.
I'm in space.
I might have to.
Fucking brilliant.
I might have to steal that idea. But no, because the main reason I want to do them is I want kind of to reformat the idea of Gretchen bandits, but through the lens of the second ed Gretchen, because that's what I think Grot bandits would do, is because they're out for themselves and because they're out for money and they're out for whatever loot they can get, and they don't have any bigger principles, then they're probably more likely to think, right, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get myself a good gun, I'm going to get myself some good armor, and I'm going to show these orcs how scary I can be. So the idea of the very goth-like armored Gretchen came into play, and I happen to have, because nobody likes them but me, I have nearly 100 of the metal ones from second ed.
I don't think anybody's heard of them.
They're very hard to come by. Like, I wouldn't like to try and buy them now on eBay. I imagine they probably go for quite a heap. But sort of like 10, 15 years ago, they were like, I managed to get quite a few job lots of them, and yeah, I've got a load of them. I mean, it's mostly the pistol ones, but I'm always on the market for the autogun ones because they're the harder ones to find. And I've got like a decent chunk of them, and I've got two ideas of what I could do with that. I was tempted to make like a little sort of like a Macari force. So run them like as a goth force and use Macari as a HQ and just try and make them slightly combat grots. It's just very stupid. But yeah, like I think they would work quite well as mercenaries because like they'll be. I mean, like the orcs wouldn't even have to necessarily value them if they felt they were sufficient distraction. They might be tempted, and I think that's probably where Gretchen bandits would get a lot of their work. And they haven't been mentioned since the old Freebooters, the Rogue Trader book. So they haven't been in the frame for a while. But it could be a fun way to add some slightly more deranged Gretchen, and I'm all for that because there's not enough variety in Gretchen in my opinion.
It's it was saying about that with the bandit Grots and the Orky Ogrins you got there, which is exactly how I'd sort of imagine Ogrins in a 40k Orc army as well. They all had rules, didn't they? And they existed in the lore, in the rules. The lore has changed somewhat. Orcs are seen now as anything non-orky. It's just generally distrusted or treated with disdain. So now we've done a lot more of a focused sort of whole orcoid race, that just make use of everything orcoid, and that's gone away a bit more, but it's not to be confused with the fact that there wouldn't be a bending of the rules and a breaking of the rules. Just because orcs generally are distrusting it does not mean that your tribe wouldn't be unusual for orcs in their hiring of mercenaries or something, or recruiting ogrins or whatever into their force.
Well, that is the thing we always say, isn't it? Is like that's the reason to play orcs above everything else, is that no orc army is the same. No orc faction is the same.
You've got to find that thing that makes your army unique, put your own little twist on it. And usually those twists can be bending the rules or tweaking the rules. And it's not even bending the rules. It's just, it's another one of those lore things that I think sometimes people take a little too literally. And if you put your army on the table and you had some ogrins in it, people are like, well, what? They wouldn't, they might sort of come at you from a lore perspective and say that wouldn't happen. But it definitely could happen, and it has happened. And
I always find this a bit weird when people go, "Oh, that would never happen." It's like 40k is set in a universe. The universe is really fucking big.
Yeah,
are you sure it definitely will never happen? Like, you've not really grasped the concept of infinity and typewriters and monkeys, have you? Like,
and orcs are well known for utilizing human slaves. Nasdrag was very well, one of the things he was known for, and many others besides. But that is kind of why blood axes are sort of looked at less than favorably by other orcs, isn't it? Because they do see the way that they've taken hold of those human traits and things,
like tactics and strategy and thinking. God forbid.
Thinking.
Well, yeah, it's a bit heretical, really, isn't it? I mean, green is best, and why are you going to copy a puny Umi?
Bit of strategy behind it.
Yeah. If you're puny, then you have to use strategy, don't you?
That's usual bad milne talk there. It's like, don't worry, mate. We'll let you charge down the valley there with the turrets on either side. You take them head on, and we'll just sort of do a flank maneuver and mop up what's left. I don't mind. You can be the distraction squeak if you want to be. That's fine by me.
That's it. Go and avoid the action.
Get all the loot.
Hiding in the shadows. Wait until the real work's done.
Get all the decent loot. Oh, what's that? Sorry about you, bud. You're dead there. I'll just take your shiny shooter off you.
We're not worried about big guns in a valley. We got bigger guns.
Hold on. The bad man just say he's not worried about big guns in the valley. We've got bigger guns.
we got bigger guns.
Sure you do, mate. All right.
Yeah, and type 2 diabetes.
If you want someone charging in a suicide run down an alley or a valley, even send a goth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they'll probably make it. Hard as nails.
There's lots of ways you could use mercenaries in game, isn't there? There's loads of different ways. Like you made mention of it just a minute ago, Scar. We definitely have to cover it soon. The community, as a member of our community, has been making homebrew data cards for old classic orc units and things. And
sweet.
yeah, he's been doing a really good job of it. And I think yeah, we've been sort of planning to for a while, but we'll definitely all get together and have a look at them and maybe give them a review on the channel or talk about them. And yeah, but that's one way you could utilize mercenaries nowadays is with like house ruling and things like that, creating your own data cards. Or
But
another
you
option
can't
would
use
be
them in tournaments.
well, another option would be counts as, like, I don't know, like just as an example I can think of would be like Dim, say you wanted a unit of Ogrins in your army, just utilize the Orc Knob rules and just have them run as knobs.
Yeah, mega knobs
And,
even for
yeah, or even
Yeah.
mega knobs, yeah. I mean, you've got quite a few different weapon options
I've
there.
got a
that will-
count size idea for almost every Orc Codex unit in the army, I think.
I mean, Dred's utilized it great recently, hasn't he, with his troll cans and his troll Death Dread, which I was great because I when he started doing them, I thought they were like mercenaries. They would be like the natural life form on a planet or whatever that, you know, in effect, it'd be a bit more like pets rather than mercenaries, I think. But no, he's in Dred's law. They are actually Orkoid. They're just like, you know, they're Orkoid. They're like I don't know, a type of squig or just a fucking, I don't know. We'll have to let Dred. He might still be in the comments if his battery hasn't died. Talk about him, but
He's still terrorizing the old comment section, yeah.
but they're they would make an awesome example of that, and I don't know, Dim, I'd love to see you utilize some of that stuff and Scar as well. I don't know, I just think sort of poorly trained Ogrins would be hilarious in your Blood Axe army and that, you know. Perhaps,
like I said, I do have some
destroying an Imperial army that had hired them, like and turning on them. Then the Ogrins, they kind of had a bit of a kinship or something, and they thought, actually, these boys can fight. Maybe they're, you know, we just give them some grub or whatever, they'll fight with us.
Well, that's how it is in the old lore. It's like if the orcs come across them first, if they haven't been introduced to the Imperial cult, then yeah, there's a high likeliness that the Ogrins would actually join the orcs because they've a kinship amongst them, you know.
Goes back to fantasy, doesn't it? Because obviously, originally, Rogue Trader being, you know, take the orcs and the elves and the dwarves and make them sci-fi. So they carried over a lot of that stuff, didn't they? Like, you know, ogres would be mercenaries and fight for anyone in the fantasy, and Ogrins sort of became similar in that respect.
Yeah, before they like remade the Ogrins, they were sort of, yeah, they were guns for hire.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Which I love about ogres and Ogrins. It's fucking awesome.
I think we should just pick a side.
Yeah, the side of money. Money and glory.
Which side's winning? That's grand so.
What side makes the best pies? We don't fight for the Eldari very much. Although I'd like to see it. I say much at all. I mean,
Ogrins in pointy hats.
Yeah. How tall would they be?
Ogrins in pointy hats. That'd be interesting.
Well, we can't talk about mercenaries without mentioning Kroot.
Oh.
And there's been a lot. I'm sure everyone watching this now has seen all the new Kroot stuff coming out. There's some very cool stuff, and I can kind of see some of us doing some kit bashes and conversions out of them. Essex, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, definitely.
But how would you see Kroot mercenaries and orcs? You know, how would you see that interaction there? Do you think that's something that could or would happen?
Well,
Yeah,
I don't think it would. I don't think orcs are likely to have any sort of truck with mercenaries unless they get something out of it. And I don't see working for Kroot, you know, to get the best pick of the feathers or what have you, is going to be advantageous to them.
I quite like the idea. I think it's possible just because I think I mean I wanted to make a Star Trek analogy because I just think they'd be a bit like the Jem'Hadar. I think like the orcs would probably like fighting them more than working alongside them.
Yeah.
But it might happen on a basis of vague mutual respect. Although with orcs, that respect probably amounts to, "Huh, these guys eat the people they kill. They're funny." So I could see them appreciating them. I could really see the orcs really liking the Krootoks and the Kroot hounds. I could see them liking those. Because, I mean, like, orcs like the fact that squigs are fucking lethal and live around
That's
them.
what I was just saying. Yeah, a bit of squig, like entertaining, what funny wise, rather than
Yeah. I think
just
they'd find
hilarious.
it quite entertaining
Yeah.
to fight alongside them, or at least to capture them
and fight with them as well, fight against them. Like,
Well, I
I
think
don't know. I'd love
Yeah.
to see like Kroot fighting beast snaggers or feral orcs,
Yeah.
and just to see it like a, I don't know, like a cinematic thing, on like a.
Are we
That'd
going to
be a
have the
cool
40k
thing to see.
universes Xenos games? Is that what it is? Out hunting each other. And
Yeah.
who brings back the biggest kill? Hey. But I could see it working.
Last man standing in the cage. No.
Yeah. With what them saying, it's like, the Kroot eat whoever they beat, and the orcs are interested in the loot. So that could work well.
they're real humanitarians.
We need one of those wah, wah, wah buttons.
I haven't had a good look through the range yet, but
there's a new like character riding like what looks like a bit of a salamander. It looks like a sort of a, and he's got like rocket sticks that he's trying. And I just saw that, and it brought me the memories of your beast boss on Squigosaur conversion that you done from the what was the creature they're called from AOS?
Scumdrick, I think it was Scumdrick.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, oh, I can see Essex doing something really cool with that. But yeah, there's some of the Krootok stuff in that. It's very cool, and it definitely the Kroot range as it's just come out now. I think a lot of Orc players will look at that stuff with a bit of appreciation of some of the stuff, because it's got there's some good elements and things there.
Nice.
Like the Kroot are very different to Orc, but there's also a lot of similarities there.
A little bit of similarities as well.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
Gorkamorka players quite excited as well because they're seeing potential mutie
Oh yeah.
bases for making muties who were horseback raiders in the Gorkamorka game. So
yeah, I'd never even considered that. That's
Yeah.
of course, yeah. There's some
I
really
think
good
they're
stuff there for
buggy
that.
hopefully,
today, yeah.
hopefully they're going to have
Next
like a
month.
cavalry unit with smaller ones because if they do, I mean, I don't know how much of a range they're doing on the Kroot. I don't know if they're getting their own codex or whether.
Well,
or not
that would be cool because it would
units.
be like the old Kroot mercenary rules that they had, wouldn't it, where they converted them out of cold ones, and had the Kroot riding cold ones for
Yeah.
like a smaller cavalry unit, and that was really cool. And then they had like winged Kroot as well in the old mercenaries like codex thing, which I believe was in a white dwarf, like there's a I remember anyway. It might have been in one of the special codexes. I can't remember now, but I know it existed, and it had some really cool stuff in there, and a whole guide on how you could convert and kit bash up your various Kroot, squads and stuff. So it'd be cool to lean a bit more into that for sure.
Yeah.
But talking about like whether Orks or Kroot would like if whether Orks would hire them or the other way round, I think with almost every single faction in the game, the answer is yes. Because a mercenary joining as a mercenary, whatever, it can just be for a battle, one battle. It's like maybe they've got no choice and they're fighting off against like some mass tyrannid invasion or whatever, or there's so many different scenarios
Alloys of convenience, sort of.
Yeah, so I think the answer would always be yes, but like they wouldn't like. Would they hire some Kroot? Yes. Would they hire them to be a permanent fixture in the army? Very unlikely. But even then, you could explain it away with some quirky bit of lore of your faction, and so yeah, I mean, they even work with Space Marines, wouldn't they?
I think it just depends on the specific sort of faction or clan, so to speak, or chapter for the Marines. Some of them were willing to work
With the Marines, yeah.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
the
I don't
Marines
think the Marines
especially.
would be willing to work with Orcs, to be fair.
Yeah, and then other ones are just like, no, you're
I
Xenos.
mean, occasionally they'll team up with like the Eldari or some that sort of stuff, but I think Orcs might be a bit of a step too far for them.
Bit of a push.
Or
Yeah.
Orcs and Black Templars, yeah, you can just imagine it.
Well, you're always going to have, like Crimson Fists or something, people who have a chip on their shoulder from, past grievances. That's always going to happen. You know what I mean?
Won't let the past go.
No. But it's not going to work with everyone.
What could you run?
Ah,
What could you
well,
run
it's-
Kroot
it
as
is-
if
it
you were
is
doing
fun-
an account as?
It is fun as an Orc player to walk up to a Crimson Fist player and go, well, there's no place like home, is there?
That's a good question, Essex.
That as account as. Squeaks for sure. For
Yeah, a
some
lot
sort,
of the a lot of them think like
hounds and stuff.
yeah, for sure.
I've not really seen the Kroot models. I've seen the fellow with the, like you say, on the salamander, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the word salamander, but misspelt horrifically. Like
Yeah.
hardly like calamander or something like that.
Well, the Krootox could be used as a mech gun.
Yeah.
Is that the gorilla looking one?
Yeah, with they got the big gun.
Yeah.
Right, what you talk.
And then you got the rampaging ones that you could use. I'm not sure the scale of them. They look fairly big. Whether they could be killer cans or death dreads or something. Probably look a similar scale to like a killer can, I would say.
I wonder if you could use the hounds as mounts for Gretchen. That could be quite fun. Have Gretchen sort of kind of feral bikers kind of deal.
I'd love to get Grot bikers.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I think they should all have. Do you know what? And they should all wear sort of like leather waistcoats and have like pot helmets. Like Black Widows from Every Which Way But Loose. If they're Clint Eastwood and he's orangutan, that would be quality.
I wouldn't.
Sky, you've made a lovely cone there, but that green's meant to go on the inside, mate.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I wouldn't know what you're talking about there.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Orks get a new biker unit. That I half expect there will be one Grot biker in there. I just think they'll just do it for shits and
instead
giggles.
of it being like a Grot holding onto a banner, actually having a little bike of his own.
Oh, that'd be very cool.
I mean, it'll probably amount to like a one-use thing. I don't know what it would be, but
it would be good. I don't know if it'd do it though.
Yeah. Well,
they'd have to change the data cards, and they're loath to do that. They hate any kind of,
They hate invalidating rules that they've done recently very, very quickly. They really, really don't like doing that. Let's see how the internet feels about my sarcasm rather than my just outright fucking hostility. See how that goes down.
Tommy Mac is saying Mezgik or Mezgike or something do Grot bikers.
Beautiful ones at that.
Yeah,
as
they
well.
are really, really nice ones. I was going to mention.
I've not seen them.
Or
They
Grot in
are.
a sidecar
They
is
are
what
cute
Sai
as
is
fuck.
saying. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea either. Grot in a sidecar, probably using a
Yeah,
big shooter.
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, because that would be you're getting like the Orc profile for combat, and then you've got like the Grot profile for some shooting. Which yes, please.
Cromlech do that, don't they? They've got a few bikers. I think they're knob bikers, and they've got like Grots in the sidecar and stuff. On
That might be what they do with knob bikers, yeah, because that would make them discernible from regular bikers if they did that, because they would be able to upgrade their combat clout because they're knobs, and they would be able to upgrade their shooting clout because
it's quality as well. It's like an Orky version of a knight and his squire.
Do we still have knob bikers?
Are they legends? Or I presume they're legends.
Yeah, they're legends.
Are they?
They won't be in the codex, I don't think.
No, definitely not. I don't think I wasn't sure if I had them at all.
They should come back.
No, they won't be legends. They'll be Imperial armor. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they do still exist in some form.
But Imperial armor's gone, isn't it?
well, no, you know, the whatever they call
Oh,
it.
the Forge
now.
World, the Forge World list.
The
They're
Forge
probably
World
in.
Daily
They
Guide.
should be in there, surely.
Let's
They
have a
must
look.
be.
Let's just have a look. You guys carry on chatting. I'll see if I can.
I'm already on it, mate. They're not in Legends.
No, they'll be in the Forge World one because the Forge World sold not bikers, so they should have rules.
They
For
did
those
at
ones.
one point, yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago, like. But
Knobs on war bikes. There you go.
All right, so they're still in the Forge World, are they?
Yeah.
Well, how are they different?
it's just because they had
knobs,
models.
They're bigger and harder, aren't they?
They had models.
Extra wound.
Oh, right. I
I've
mean,
got
they're just tougher.
Just Clint.
each time this unit
It's bigger and
consolidates.
harder.
Yeah, exactly. It's in it.
I mean, it's accurate.
So, well, they do a drive-by crumping. Each time this unit consolidates, each model in this unit can move up to 6 inches instead of 3. And they've probably got some nice weapon options as well.
Re-engage. They used to be able to, didn't they?
Oh, any model can replace. So they can pack them much better. They can all replace their stuff with big choppers, kill saws, power claws, power stabbers. Nice. They got quite a few options there. Any number of models can each have their chopper replaced with one of the following. Oh, you can have 2 sluggers. That's cool.
That'd be interesting.
Just there with his knees and
kill
both hands
saws and
shooting.
power stabbers. That's cool. I thought power stabbers
Unit
had gone
composition.
away.
So the unit composition is just 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
now,
sold them in
just
packs
3.
of 3. So
Yeah, but it's not like 3 or 6 or even.
But yeah, you used to be able to do like, well, I think
You
back
get
on
9
Fort Age,
max
you could
then.
do like fucking units of 10 of them or something.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but you got to remember, GW no longer believe that you can feasibly count. So, you got to, you know.
Well, that's quite good.
Power stabber looks cool, actually.
With a lance.
Yeah. Mm.
You've basically got the trade off that against the power claw. Do you want the extra point to strengthen AP, or do you want to get the +1 to wound? And I suppose it's situational, really, but
I mean, any weapon that you get a buff on the charge is good on a fast moving unit, I think.
Baggers said he converted Outriders into knobs on bikes. Sounds cool.
Going to the Outriders?
Converted Outriders into knobs on bikes.
You know, the Outriders are Space Marine Primaris bikers.
Oh, right, okay.
Big old bikes.
Yeah, I did do a Warboss on Warbike with one of those.
Nice.
I was very impressed by how they managed to take the old Space Marine bike that used to make me think of bricks and then go, here's a bigger brick. I was quite impressed by that. That was pretty good.
That's the thing with Orks, though, isn't it? All our stuff looks like stuff now.
Yeah.
Now,
all of our
like
stuff doesn't
flyers
look
look
blocky.
like
It's
flyers,
all
the
very
bikes
sort
look
of
like-
artistic and stylistic and nice bold shapes and
it's very
curves
cool.
and like planes that look
Yeah.
like actual fucking planes. You know, actual variation and distinctness is the actual brand of the Orks, whereas, you know, it's the Imperials that tend to have things that look like blocks.
I mean, that Valkyrie pretty
Like
much
our
is a flying
bikes, you
brick.
can see the wheels, can't you? Yeah.
And that's why Mercenaries.
Shit. How many times can you press stay on target?
Ah, well, you know, I mean, one for a good look, sure, why not?
I think we've covered it. We've talked quite a lot about it. But
Stay on
it's
target.
just like, what do you say other than, oh, look, they're freebooters? Probably.
Well, viewers, let us know. Comment down below. Let us know what you think of this format. We did this last week where we a bit more laid back chit chat. With less pressure to stay on target, essentially, and do a little bit more hobby and these. Let us know what you think of these, because these, we'll be honest with you guys, these are easier for us to do, because we've done very well. patting ourselves on the back there. I am, but we've stuck to bringing you a video every week. But it can be quite hard with the editing and the prepping and when we film and that. Whereas with this, we would tend to be there watching the premiere anyway. So with this, we can just be here. We can all get a bit of hobby done. You can get a bit of hobby done along with us, and we can do a bit more of a laid back chit chat. And so yeah, the feedback below, guys. Let us know if you'd like us to, carry on with this.
I do think we should do more of this though, where we tackle a topic and then we talk hobby options. Because I have to say, I think that's probably one thing that I think we should do more of, and I want to see more of it on YouTube, which is why I think we should do more of it. Is just this thing of like, let's cover the hobby aspect of this topic, like because we've all chipped in on ideas for mercenary stuff, and I love that. I want to do more of that. I actually have an idea. I pitched this to Sid. I don't know if he'll run with it. I really would like to see him do it because I mean he'll make it look better than I would. But I really think that beast snaggers are a very good way to go for a lot of creativity. I've said this before. I think we've all said it, but you could do so much with beast snaggers to help theme your orcs in particular ways. Like one of the ways I was thinking about was I was looking at it and going, "Oh, you could do really cool like bootlegging like orcs." Like, and this is partly why I pitched this to Sid because he is the drunken orc after all. So as I was just thinking, like, you could do all sorts of stuff like that. And I was thinking of, we spent ages trying to find out, didn't we, Sid? The other night we were talking about it, and it was like, is there a wacky races thing that's that? And we finally found it was the Arkansas Chuggabug. So that was the one I was thinking of. But like, you could absolutely do beast snaggers that way because like I was thinking you could have death rollers or wheels that would be kegs, and you could have like you have that they were like drunk and that's why they're well hard and really hurty in combat was because they're all pissed as farts, and you could do all sorts of stuff with that, and they could just be crazy hicks, and that then did give me the idea for the bear squig, which, why is that not a thing yet?
We're getting some nice comments in the chat. Tommy Mac says, I like this chat. R Tunes says, I'm enjoying painting with Ork Waffle. And Disan says, I like this format. I always want to see more kit bash work. And Dread has just jumped in saying, just the other night on the vid, chat took advantage of Dim not being able to see us while recording and convinced him Uftak was on a 60mm base.
That was me.
The rant was beautiful, he says.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Daggers says, as a kit basher, a chilled stream where you guys go over hobby ideas is great. So yeah, thank you guys. It seems like you're giving us your blessing on this format. We will still do some pre-recorded ones and things on various things. There are certain things we have to do pre-recorded.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
this is good for us because we not only are we bringing content to you every week, but also we're able to combine it and get stuff done as well. So it's time is very limited for all of us, I think, in all kinds of ways. So anything that
time is wibbly wobbly.
Yes, timey wine.
Lunchtime doubly so.
We've got a serious deadline coming up too.
Yes, indeed.
The meat is very, very close.
Eagle-eyed amongst the viewers, notably so I noticed that I super glued my fingers together, and that is why you buy yourself a bottle of Uncure, so you can unsuper glue your fingers. It's great. Works wonders.
You not just pull them apart.
I mean, you could do, but I'd like them to not have gouges taken out of them,
I've got to be honest, I glue mine together all the time mostly because I get them on my fingers and I just go like that, and then I can't unlock my phone with my fingerprint.
I do wish that Unglue existed when my friend persuaded me for reasons that I didn't understand until he gave me the kit.
This isn't going
His
to be an
newly
American
bought-
Pie moment, is
Well,
it?
No,
do you
no,
know
his
what? That's
newly
where my
bought-
mind went.
Yeah,
His-
I
his
thought you
newly
should have
bought-
your leg.
His
He means his
newly
cock.
there it is. His newly bought Land Raider Crusader, the original one with the bolters.
The metal ones.
The metal ones, yeah.
Jesus.
Like he got it back with like fingerprints in the stuff, and he had the audacity to give out about it, and it's like, you just gave me that so you didn't have to put fingerprints on it. The only difference is it's my fingerprints, not yours.
And you still have yours.
I mean, not anymore.
No,
but,
I said you would. You would have said to him that, and you still have yours.
yeah.
Yeah.
I should have done.
It's not the best customer service, Tim. I'll be honest with you.
No, I'd be furious.
I mean, I was quite young. The Crusader's a while ago. I'm not that fucking old.
Were you not concerned he could have used the Land Raider to duplicate your fingerprints and frame you for multiple crimes?
I mean, I wish he had done. My life would have been, a lot less dull.
I think you're bringing back flashbacks. Tommy Mac is saying metal bolters FML.
Yeah, like just no one ever looked at that kit and went, that'll be a pleasure to build.
I played Tyranids in Third Ed.
Yeah.
For Christmas, I got the fucking old One Eye.
Sweet.
And I didn't have the sense to pin those bloody claw arms.
Ah, Jesus!
So
why
I
would you
just
do that
used
to yourself?
so much super glue. Yeah, but the
He's
thing
more
was the
glue than
torso
miniature
was
now.
metal as well.
It was all metal.
No, the some of the arms were plastic.
What?
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
of the arms.
Yeah, the Siphon talons that you added on was just
What
it was
madness
just
is
the
this?
plastic
That's
Carnifex
easy.
sprue.
Heresy.
Yeah.
Oh God!
I'm talking first runs of like the Great Unclean one where he looked like a walnut whip.
Oh
with
Jesus
arms.
Christ! I mean, the worst one
Absolute nightmare. At least Arrodite looked like slime or something.
A walnut whip with
And
some
did you
arms
ever
and a
have the
tongue.
Balrog?
Yeah, Jesus
First
Christ.
all metal Balrog from Lord of the Rings, where he had a metal base that was about 4 inches long, and he stood on 1 foot at the far end, and he had big lead whip. Oh, it was a never seen
you were
him.
being far too kind to that original unclean one by referring to it as a walnut whip. Like, a walnut whip has shape and looks like an object.
It looks like a vast turd with a knobbly top, and that's basically what a Great Unclean one looks like.
We have
Oh,
our tunes
Gary
in the
Hauser in the
comments.
comments, he says, I was doing model RRing back last century, pulled the pin out of the super glue bottle, then went to put it back in and glued my damn lips together.
Oh no!
I'm guessing he pulled the cap off with his teeth or something, and or just touched his lips after.
I used to go to my mate's house when we were kids, and we used to super glue with fingers together, and then see how they flip our children, right? And then see if you could just do that and like ping your hands together. It's really difficult with child hands. Our hands, we didn't glue children's hands together.
Our tunes is saying he got Louis Loncourt, the Bretonnian king, on Hippogriff for Christmas when he was about 10.
Jesus.
And never managed to successfully build it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kits like that, wasn't it?
A lot of fantasy character kits were exactly that horrific moment.
There are some things we're not nostalgic for.
The zombie dragon, I think, was like 5th ed, 6th ed fantasy. And they're see, the warmer fantasy old metal dragons, even with the ones with the plastic wings, they were these sort of S-shaped serpentine things. So it'd be like a neck, a head, the body.
Oh,
and it was like 4 or 5 sort of like set. I was like, nah.
You were reminding me of the Lord of the Rings Balrog, the first one they did, and they did the wings metal in the original one. And my friend wanted me to make it, and I told him to fuck off. The only time I ever, it's the only time I ever refused. It's the only time I ever refused to do a build for someone.
You had a whip as well. You had a big, long, curvy whip.
Oh yeah.
With the hand and a little wrist with a knobble to help you, and you would have just a little drop of super glue and then fuck off.
I mean, the whip one. I had the whip one. I think I've sold the Balrog now. Like I might still have it, but I got a Balrog. It was the only time I ever found Games Workshop did a deal, and I think that's because of how poorly both Lord of the Rings and the Balrog were selling at the time. But I managed to get like a load of stuff for Mario Goblins at the time. Yeah, guess surprise, surprise, people. I played goblins in Lord of the Rings. Who fucking could have guessed? And I got like I think it was like a box of Mario Goblins. So I think it was like 16 goblins in there, the plastic ones. They were the same ones that were in the Helmsteed box set.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and the
Tolkien
magazine.
goblins and
Yeah.
orcs. They use mercenaries.
Tolkien goblins. And I got, what was it? I got like two character blisters, 3 character blisters or something like that. And then like the drums and the Balrog for like 50 quid. And like the Balrog was like 35 at the time. So it was like a massive saving. Yeah. Good times. Good times. I enjoyed playing Lord of the Rings for the time. Even though it was an entirely fair and balanced game, like all of GW's games, and there was nothing wrong at all with the balance. How's that sarcasm going for you guys? Is that going well? I hope so.
Oh, I didn't pick up on it.
No.
It's a good job you told me.
You're a bit too subtle with it.
Yeah. Well, no, I figured probably the best way to undermine it is by pointing it out all the time.
Yeah. And in that case, you did a fine job.
I know, right?
How is everyone's projects that they're working on? I've not done a huge amount, as the viewers can see. I've literally just been painting in teeth and claws on this fella. Which is an odd way to do it because he hasn't had the second coats of all the greens and browns yet. But I'm just kind of painting what I feel like when I feel like it.
I'm just largely just playing around with ideas at the moment. I'm still mid build with this fella. But it might be my character build. I'm building 2 characters at once, and you can see them both on the table. So, if you pay attention to that, or you pay attention to my Instagram, you will probably know what I've built for the character challenge before the video goes up.
When is the video going up?
That's a good question.
What video is that?
For the character challenge.
Oh, I don't know. Probably best not to say on camera.
Well, I think we already have.
Take the 5th.
Probably.
See,
better
here's
just
the
to
thing.
say, I like to go with the safe option of coming soon.
Yeah. Just look at Steve-O panicking. It's like if Dread was here, Dread would also be panicking. And Scar,
well, I mean, this is how far I've got.
And then me,
so I've still got quite a way to
Sid,
go.
and Clint remaining surprisingly calm because every time we've had a challenge, we've been on time. Like,
well, look, I'm already further along than I was with the last challenge, so that's a win,
Yeah, no, that's good.
But yeah, I've built the fella, so that's it, and I've just got to, get him all to.
Well,
nice.
Well, we should ask people watching not to go back and check previous videos where we did say when the video would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't waste your time doing that. Who wants to go back and see our old content, which is easily discoverable on nicely organized playlists within the channel? And you can access a wealth of information there. I don't know who would want to go and do that and be highly entertained while doing it with premium Orky content.
Yeah.
At a bargain price of free.
For now.
Cheap at twice the price.
I thought you said for now, Essex. As he rubbed his hands together with an evil laugh. For now. Bring in the microtransactions.
If GW fans scrutinized the rules like they did the free content then talks about it, they might actually get good codexes. I'm in a sassy mood tonight, can you tell?
Sassy, damn.
No.
Jesus.
Let's have a look at the comments. Let's see if there's any sass in there. We've got all Dread's in there, so I'm guessing yes. Keith Gross, the only metal model I had problems is Azog the Slaughterer.
Oh,
Still
yes.
laying pieces to this day.
Yeah, absolutely. Ork and the original Ork and the Wyvern with full lead Wyvern, none of this plastic wing nonsense.
Discern says working on camo pants for my commandos. Oh, he spoke about that the other day in the Discord, didn't he? That he was doing camo.
Well, if you can't see the pants, you've definitely gone commando.
BC asks, "How's the deadline coming, Scar?"
Oh, how's the deadline for it? Yeah, there you go. Look, I've got bits clipped out of a sprue. Yay! There they are.
Yeah.
All good.
Nice.
Well, can anyone remember? You might not remember this, but part of my brain is like there was a writer who's like, I really like deadlines because I like hearing the whooshing sound as they fly past. I'm just trying to remember who the writer was. If anybody in the chat knows, type it up. I can't remember who it is, but
Keith Gross says, I'm still currently ignoring my Squig Off project while simultaneously planning projects in my brain. I hear you, mate. That's the story of my life, and
I think we're all like that.
all of us. Yeah, absolutely everyone. Yeah, you're in good company, mate.
I started a scratch sculpt Squig Off using Super Sculpey and was not happy with the results. It sits unfinished.
Me start another project while I haven't finished another one.
I know, right?
Never.
Almost it's almost like where my paints are is just full of them. Like there's like here's a rare one I did finish, which is a He-Man, and it was terrible. But then I thought, I'll do it again. So here's the He-Man Mark II, which is a lot better, but also note the lack of finished. So, yeah. There's quite a lot of that. There's quite a lot of that on my desk. I mean, there's a lot of unfinished right here. I mean, this guy's not finished, and I made the original version of this guy in 3rd ed. That's how good my hit rate is. Although to be fair, this is an upgrade because I've been wanting to convert him into a big mech on shock attack gun for a long time.
Nice.
And I got, as you remembered, if you watched the battle report, you will have seen him.
Yeah.
Because he was there until Dread killed it. Fucking truck.
Was this before or after Dread's Warboss on Warboy got absolutely obliterated?
Oh, long after that, because I mean that was the first thing that happened, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of the first. I think my Lutus died horribly, and then Dread, Dread got his comeuppance. Happy times.
Dread says in the comments, he says Steve-O is ahead of me already. In all kinds of ways, Dread. Dread also says fuck off Sid. I don't know what that was in reference to, or whether it's just a general greeting.
Just a general zog off. Yeah, just.
It's probably
just
well
fuck off, Sid.
So now, viewers, you know why Dread's not on camera today. Clearly got an issue with
Beef.
Sid. Yeah.
It's beef.
Sci-Fi says the Warbosses should revisit the Gargant Owners Club. There have been some great new ones since last visit. We definitely will, Sci-Fi, at some point.
Yeah.
Don't know when, but yeah, we'll definitely revisit at some point because, well, everyone loves Gargants, don't they?
They do indeed.
Did we? I can't remember. Like, well, maybe none of us can remember. But did we, with the Gargant Owners Club, did we include Gargantuan Squig-Offs in that Gargant Owners Club or not? I can't remember.
Don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think we did.
Kind of want to, just so I can have something in it, because I'm never going to finish. I'm never going to finish a fucking Gargant ever. It's never going to happen. Just want to be in the club.
No,
I've started one. I don't think I'm ever going to finish one.
Well, I do have a nice idea for one that I think would be quite cool. Although, yet again, it's kind of cheating because I was thinking just a Grot town on tracks, like Mortal Engines. Yeah. Just that with some like artillery stuck on it.
Yeah, fucking hell, yeah, that would be awesome. Keith Gross says I have Polly the War Wyvern. If he's talking about the old metal fantasy wyvern, then yeah, that's gonna need some serious pinning. Did that one have plastic wings?
Which one? The one from oh God. Is that the one with the axe pointing forwards?
I
The Warboss
believe
with
that's the one. I don't know if that's the
No,
particular.
those were fucking metal
Yeah,
wings.
so we feel your pain there, Keith.
They were awful.
Baggers is saying, or Tunes was saying, it's Douglas Adams is the writer where the I Love
Oh,
Dead lines.
thank
I
you.
love the silence.
Very disappointed with myself for forgetting it was Douglas Adams, seeing as he's one of my favorite writers. But you know, happens. Thank you. But
BC says Grot London's coming.
Oh, that's in reference to that terrible film.
no,
awful, wasn't
the
it?
books, the books are decent. The books are decent. Forget about the fucking film. The books are decent.
That movie was a quality trailer and nothing more.
Yeah,
What movie was this? Was this
the
that,
trailer was amazing, but boy,
Yeah, I was so
Jesus.
excited. I was like, "What is this shite?"
Which one was that? Something Engines.
Mortal Engines.
Mortal Engines.
Immortal Engines. I think that doesn't sound right.
Fantastic inspiration though for Grot type, vehicles and stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
I want to basically do it. You know, the old school sort of the big wagons and that, which had like slate roofs on them and
Yeah.
do something like
fuck.
that. I want to do it like
definitely.
that Grot mega tank. I did try and put some plates on my last one, but
Hillbursters,
just go towers.
Hillbursters, giblet grinders.
Yeah.
I don't know, mate.
Lungburster.
It's going to have that kind of like
Bowlburster,
villagey, lots of little shacks and turrets and that.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah, Essex, you were talking about a Gargant earlier. I think I envision your Gargant being your Blood Bowl stadium that just transforms into a Gargant.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
I don't have a fucking clue how you do it, but
we have transformed into dung 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 mega game.
It'd be so cool to be able to do that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the stands would make awesome like shooting galleries from the on the top of that.
That'd be very cool. That would be very cool. I saw some bits today for a new stadium I'm thinking about.
Quality.
Yeah. Yes.
A new stadium we were thinking about. Where the hell are you going to put that?
Oh, I don't know. I'll work that out once.
You have to
Essex,
build
I
an
think you're
extension onto
going
your
to
shed
have
beforehand.
you're going to have to host some kind of Blood Bowl tournament at some point.
Well, I think we should. I think we should definitely do a league one of them during one of our meets. That should definitely be a thing.
Yeah,
penciled in for 2027.
Yeah,
because I kind of want to do Gorkamorka next year, just because I think it would be good hobby content for the channel to do.
So do I. I want to do Gorkamorka.
The problem is I want to do all the factions, including all the fan made ones.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But I think I'm probably
hanging up these guys.
Well, I can actually show what I bought for them, because that's what I'm planning to use.
What's that, Essex? Oh, vampire.
Vampire, yeah.
Such a stupid team. I love them.
Needing to get like a Blood Bowl team, one of the new ones. Every time I look, though, they've gone up by about $5.
Yeah, they keep jumping up in price, which is a real shame.
Bastards. And I don't buy it out of principle. And then I look again, and I go on, and it's going up with $5. Bastards.
CGW, your pricing strategy doesn't work. Unfortunately,
some of us have principles. I'm spending money on 40k instead.
It works with their core demographic.
Some of us have time-sensitive principles.
Yeah.
Some of GW's fans have
your other ranges.
I take moral objection till next week.
Some of GW fans have big boy money, don't they? So
they do have big boy money. Yeah,
I'll never get over that as long as I live.
Oh,
I don't know whether or not to be angry or just laugh at it. I
it
jump
was,
between the
it
two.
Was so patronising, and I believe
also
very
stupid.
unself-aware. That I couldn't be angry or hurt by it.
It's like the people
just-
who are proud that they're whales in live service games. It's like,
Yeah.
do you not get the metaphor? Do you not understand what whaling is? Right? Do you not get the thing about how like, it's like it's trawling around for big, stupid, slow objects.
Right,
Like-
you said just before, whales aren't stupid.
No,
Stop being whalist.
Lumbering.
Whalist. Whales are very clever.
I'll go easy on him, Sid. You'll make him blubber.
uh,
Oh dear. Oh Christ.
what was the porpoise of that?
Oh my God.
Just shut your
This, dear
blowhole, you.
viewers, is what I have to put up with on a regular basis.
Oh, that was
He loves
killer.
it. He loves it really. Like that's why I do it all the time because he loves it. So it makes him so happy.
I don't get that one.
Yo ho.
It's funny, it was not to get one. Damn it.
I've
Just
got
a
to a
tip.
stage with this, and now I'm stuck.
A tip for anyone who wants to do these sort of like smoke billowing stands, or for your effects for your flyers or rockets and stuff, go for the foliage clusters. So
Yeah.
go for the lumps. Obviously this is mirrored or whatever, but go for the foliage clusters. Don't go for the standard stuff unless you're doing really small scale. So like if you buy the tubs, it's actually more of a fine. They're ground up finer, if you get me. Like they're in much smaller pieces, and what you really want is you want like those sort of bulky
Big-
bits, the bulk it up.
Big bulky pieces, yeah.
Yeah, whereas the small bits are grand if you're doing a small explosion like that for a tank. That's for a tank. So if I have a little battle tank, and then you put the explosion on it, and it's supposed to be like an exploding, like an ammo hit or something. If you're doing a little one like that, the small stuff is grand. But if you're doing anything 40k scale, or maybe you're doing like a big sort of engine plume for your dropship or stuff, get the clusters. They work so much better. Makes life easier. There you go.
It's very Scott. It looks like you've been doing nothing but making those for like 3 weeks straight now. How many
that's all
of
the
them
hobby
are
I've
you
done.
making?
I've got like 30 of them. This is the last 5. These are my last 5 wonky Christmas trees. I have literally done no other hobby apart from this. And this is like, for me, hobby wise, the pace of this is just shocking. I'm like, oh my God, they're growing. It's like they're slowly growing, but they're growing. Oh my.
It's like the fucking Day of the Triffids at your hobby desk.
It really is at the moment. It's a bit. Will I move the camera? Will it go wonky? No, it'll just go out. Never mind. We'll leave it. But it's just like the land of windswept Christmas trees at the moment. We're all just leaning over in one direction. It's hilarious. Haven't even started on me knob yet. You know what I mean? Jesus.
Well, wait till you're off camera.
Hey.
It means his cock.
Don't worry, I have the OnlyFans channel for that.
Well worth the money.
No. I'll be making the missus jealous. I'll be making the missus jealous. Just stop. She'd be like, "Where's the money?" Never mind your morals or standards. Where's the money?
Ask that sexy motherfucker, Scar.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, darling? Here's my lucky charm.
Jesus.
You mean his cock? Well, I'm no
Almost.
longer
Your
a
bandit
paint
done.
on screen
It's
virgin.
upside down on the camera at the moment.
But had you never painted on screen?
Never.
Never ever.
I've painted, but not desk down. So it's not like people are seeing what I'm doing. They just see the top of my bald head. But with this finally doing this camera down stuff, I've never felt confident to do it. Because I'm quite happy showing off the finished results, but I don't like I don't know.
I know what
think
you mean.
because I'm don't have a huge amount of confidence in terms of painting.
That's messy as fuck, that. But, you know, when I get to wash on it and dry brush it back up, I'll read his board.
I can totally relate, like, because, like, I want to do lots of top-down content. That's what I want to do on the channel, on my channel.
Top down by your waist. Sort of
Yeah, he means his cock. But I really want to
waist up. Forget about it.
Yeah,
not interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't do it for me. Now, me on the other hand, if you want to get some good nipple content going, I'm your man. Waist up, neck down, baby. Sorry, Dim, you were saying.
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't have the confidence in filming it. I mean, I'm fine. People seeing my painting. My painting's good enough for but yeah, I'm fine on the actual skills I want to showcase. I'm not Nick Mason or Modern Synthesis, but my green stuff's all right, and like my kit bash is pretty good. So I'm fine showcasing it. It's just like, but I keep not learning the lesson that Sid and Clint particularly just keep showing me, which is just like, use music, show pictures, talk about it. And I never learned this lesson. It's like, no, but the filming's not right. So I make 4 videos and then realize all of them are out of shot and I get demoralized. And yeah. That's why there's no content on my channel. And the one video that's popular is the format I never want to do again. Fucking review of 2 GW bloody products.
What a review.
But you are looking at the things and you are talking about them. So imagine those things weren't just a GW product or a Cromlech product, but was something that you'd built. And then you can just do the same thing, stick it down, talk about it.
Yes. Stop talking sense. I'm not ready for this.
Enough of this logic. How dare you?
Down with that sort of thing.
Yeah, come on, look. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, no, I absolutely need to do that. And I also need to use my Instagram more. That's another thing I need to do.
Yeah, forgot about Instagram.
But I mean, to be fair, like I have been thinking about like maybe doing like reviews of kits, like from a converter's perspective. I've been thinking about doing that. I just don't know if I don't know if people would be interested.
Of course,
if you're interested, let me know. But yeah, I mean, I won't limit myself to GW, but I think I'll probably
you
do a
saying
lot
that
of GW.
you talking about kits and talking about the potential of kit bashing them and converting them. You saying that our audience wouldn't be interested in seeing videos about that?
Yeah,
Come
true.
on.
True. I even have a title for it called Kittens Kasprudel. So I really like. It's fucking stupid, but I like it. So, yeah. I really need to get back to the channel because like Navani, who might be watching, but he made me a theme tune for my channel ages ago, and it's a banger because of course it is. It's Nav, and I've been waiting ages to actually use it because I've got a vignette I want to do, and I need to hurry up and bloody film it.
Oh, Navani's definitely watching. He's right now. He's sipping a Chianti in a silk robe.
Yeah,
you know,
whilst touching himself.
It's his cock.
Oh.
There you are, Nav. You're part of the joke. Well done.
We love you, Nav.
Long enough. Doing that thing again, where I've picked up the Death Dread kit to not make a Death Dread. I do this a lot. I hear some people use the Death Dread kit to make Death Dreads. That's quite fascinating information. I don't think I've ever made one using the kit.
It's such lunacy.
There's a first time for everything, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a thing, right? So I know it's not exactly what the topic of the conversation was, but does everybody have an orc model or kit, or I suppose it could be fantasy as well, that was an absolute pig to build, and it probably could still be a conversion.
The new commandos.
Yes, those new commandos. I didn't have instructions.
Jeez.
Someone had to send me instructions. Fuck
Oh.
me.
Stomper. Yeah, that was a
good
stupid thing.
Because I almost never build from the kit, so I never know if it goes well. It goes together well. Because I almost always convert it. I'm trying to rack
Mega
my
Dread
brain.
was really bad. The Forge World Mega Dread. That front faceplate did not want to go on. I heated it. I washed it. It just would not line up with the points. So I ended up just shoving a load of green stuff behind it and just sticking it with green stuff.
Steve-O, any orky stinkers you can think of?
Not so many orky ones. Definitely been kits that I've had issues with. It's just that new boys kit. I guess
they're awful. It's awful.
It's just so boring.
It's bad, and
More like
you
Lego,
should feel
isn't it?
bad. Yeah. No.
It's the opposite of Lego.
Lego
I'd say the old
enables
boys
creativity.
kit was like Lego. Yeah, it's just so monotonous, and they sucked the fun. That kit sucked the fun out of my favorite part of the hobby.
The only
and
thing
I'll never
it did,
forgive it for that.
The only thing it did is it put a decent knob in the kit. That's the only good thing it did. But like,
a nice knob.
Yeah, a good knob. He means his cock.
And some lovely sluggers. The sluggers in it are beautiful. They are lovely. I've chopped most of them off at the wrist and used them for my feral orcs.
I mean, I'm not entirely enamored even with the current with the OG boys kit that we still have, because I mean it does do a couple of good things. Like it introduces like a left cupped hand, which is useful, which the old kit didn't used to have. They were all right-handed back in the day.
No, there was one. There was another one left.
I don't think there was in the original kit. In the original kit from Third Ed, I don't think there was. But that boys kit now has it, which is like the boys kit that we've had since about fifth, sixth, I think. Which is the current one that isn't the shit monopause one that we're bashing at the moment. But the OG one used to have, it didn't do this with sluggers, unfortunately, but it did with shooters, and the shooters were separate and they had handles. And they were actual physical guns. And I still have a backlog of them. I'm going to grab a few out to stick in front of the camera.
They were very cool.
But they're precious. And I rue the day that I run out of them.
I think I used my last one on the squig truck conversion. I'm not sure if I've got any more. I did only have a few.
Because these days they're attached to the arm, whereas back in the day they had a handle, so you could cut the handle off and attach it to an actual hand, because it took a little bit of ability to do.
They did improve the kit overall, though, didn't they? With introducing the big shooter and the rocket launcher and.
I don't really think so. But I'm not saying it's bad. I just think like, in order to get the rocket launcher in there, and in order to get the knob that was shit anyway, we lost a lot of orcs to get that, because like when you bought them originally, it was 16 boys in a kit, and then when they redid it, it was like 10 boys, and you're going into a GW and you're spending the same money a Space Marine player is spending on a tactical squad, and you're getting half the points worth of orcs.
Yeah, but
For
you
the
might,
same money.
that's measuring it by points value. That can't be right. But what you were saying before there, before you go off on it, before we get too
Oh no,
far,
I was done.
with
I was
the
done.
shooters with handles,
Mm.
you don't get handles with the new ones. But if you cut them off, it's easy enough to. We'll have whittled handles before. That were just bits of plastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
What I
can
have
make
found, what I
you
have
can
found
make
good
handles.
is,
Yeah.
I'll show you with this fella. The shotgun there on his back, got a handle on. There's another shotgun there, because I don't know why these both are shotguns. Is he going to focus? Little handle. And it's
Nice.
sections of, if you've ever bought, oh, fuck off. If you ever bought any of the Savage Orks,
Mm-hmm.
the bone splitters, these bows, I found a use for them. If you snip off the curly bit,
Oh, yeah. Nice.
and you use that section there,
Oh nice, yeah.
basically got a nice
Yeah,
handle. It's even
yeah.
got a little bit of rope around the bottom, or maybe there's a dagger on it. Although a dagger on the handle is a fucking stupid idea, if you ask me. But
I had a fair chunk of them at one point. I don't know what I've done with them.
yeah,
but
well,
yeah,
that's
I'll
it.
have to
Yeah,
have a look.
you get like 20 in a box in case you're making arrow boys, I suppose. But
Mhm.
you might use a couple, but
It's such a
unfortunately, you're not
good
going to use
kit,
all
that, isn't
20.
it? The
But
fucking
yeah,
bone splitters.
great use for
Such a fucking
handles.
good box.
There's some. Move them up the road.
See what's going on in the chat. Quite a bit's been going on. Ork Daggers says, after playing at the Pale Orcs Orc only tournament last year, I've been wondering if there was another. Reckon enough Orc players would come to Stockport. Playing other Orc players is the best.
Well, that's true.
Definitely.
That is very true.
Gary Hauser says, going to have to get your boys 3D printing so you got something besides the pre-made kit crap. Well, I think, yeah, I'm a little bit, my views on 3D printing, they've softened a bit lately. I was kind of, for a while there, becoming quite anti 3D print because I just didn't see what everyone else was seeing. I thought the quality of a lot of the 3D stuff, printed stuff that I had was quite frankly fucking atrocious. But I've seen some stuff lately, and I've got some bits lately from some providers of it that's really fucking nice, actually. And I also just kind of rebelled slightly against the whole. It was for a little while there, for a couple of years, it was literally the answer to everything. It was going to sync GW. It was going to do this, and well, but 3D print it, it's cheaper. Yes, after spending a huge amount of money and time and resources and effort on learning it and doing it, and
even I thought that was an unrealistic aim, and I'm quite, pro anti, shall we say?
What do you see? What, the 3D printer go brr meme wasn't true? What? No.
Yeah, I know, right? I've got concerns about it, but my concerns basically boil down to if we end up with only one option, that's the problem. I think we have, in many ways, we are getting we're not fully there, but we are more spoilt for choice in the hobby than we've ever been, and I think that's probably the best thing about
definitely
the way the hobby is at the moment, because we still have MDF stuff, because that's I mean that okay, 3D printing can make nicer looking things, but even they're like, MDF's fucking cheap. It's fucking cheap, and it's still pretty fucking good. And some of the MDF creators
well.
The MDF creators are really, really clever. You don't have to use resin. It's just it's a good product. It smells great. I love the smell of burnt MDF. It's the best smell in the world.
It is. You open before you even open the packets, you can smell it, can't you? Like, oh.
Yeah, but you've got the MDF stuff. You've got 3D printing. You've got plastic kits. You've got multi-part plastic kits. You do have 3D printing creators. Granted, there's not as much of them as I would like.
Well.
that have figured
Metal
out that,
kits.
all right, people want posable stuff, like Mr. Modulork. Mr. Modulork gets it. He understands orcs better than GW does at this point, and I would argue that he understands what orc players want more than Games Workshop does, which is a problem, Games Workshop, because, like, you know,
I just, 3D, like I say, 3D printing is just one aspect of it, isn't it? It is cool. It's very impressive technology and stuff, and some of the stuff that's coming out now
but
I think it will continue to improve.
if 3D printing takes over too much, it will just kill the hobby.
For me, see, I think there's a cool thing like designing a thing, I think, and then printing it off. It is very cool. But what you're watching us all do now, you know, you can see Essex down there cutting things out of plastic card and stuff, and Scar using this thing. If they just now went on a computer and hit print, I mean, that's a lot less interesting.
Takes away the passion, doesn't it?
It is. It's a lot less interesting.
Passion or joy.
And nobody else will
otherwise,
have these.
All artists would do it on MS Paint, otherwise, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
and
I think it's cool. I think it's still artistic and stuff, especially if you're designing your own STLs and printing them out. Then obviously that you're still being creative, you're still doing it. But I think there's a lot to be said. Like, we're in the hobby for a reason, and you know what? There's something really nice about handcrafting something, or modifying something and cutting things apart.
Yeah, but better than the something AI cultist bullshit. You know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, you know, it's not stealing. It's not stealing. Yes, it is. Fuck off.
Trying to stay on target in there.
Stay on target.
But yeah, the whole like crafting aspect of it is it's kind of like a
that was an AI Nick you just flashed up on the screen.
It was an AI Nick indeed, yes. A Borg Nick. But it's like the whole handcrafting something. It's like people who, you know, like the whole men shed thing where they'll have a project and work on stuff just for the sake of working on something for the own mental health. Yeah. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You'll always have that sort of crafting aspect. Yeah, I could sit down and 3D design smoke plumes for me Storm Boys, but I wanted to do this, you know. I wanted to do this effect for years, and then I finally did smaller versions of it for Battletech, and I was like, hold on, I can actually do this. Hooray. You know? And then it's unique as well. Nobody else has this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another.
People will have the same idea, but they'll do their own thing. But nobody will have the exact same ones that I've done.
Yeah, nobody will be stupid enough to make an army that looks like mine. It gives me a great deal of pleasure.
There's great fun with a kit as well when you crack open a box and the sprue and you look at all the different heads and the different arms. You're like, oh, it's exciting, isn't it? It's like pick and mix. And you can just, it's.
I honestly think it's the greatest feeling in the world when you take two separate kits, you eye it up in your head and think they will mesh together in an interesting way,
and
then you do it, and you're right. And it works.
I've been wrong many times.
I'm actually tend not to be.
When you're doing that, do you sort of see what you want to do and then do
loosely,
it? Or do you have a vague idea and then sometimes you end up with something totally different?
I've probably had every variation of those options. But on the whole, I will have a vague idea. I will try it, but there's almost always a little bit of improvisation in there. Because I think that's where the best part of the hobby is, because that you always come. Because the thing is your eyes aren't perfect and your conversion brain isn't an absolute genius, or at least mine isn't anyway. Like, I'll see one good thing, but then in the process of putting those two things together, there's a whole load of other things to do. And in that, there will be a problem I've not thought of that I will have to, on the fly, figure something out for. And I find that quite exhilarating. I find that quite exhilarating, but at the same time,
it's exciting, isn't it? When you come up with that one thing that actually fixes the problem, and you're like, yes, that bit.
The downside is we have hit upon. This is where an awful lot of my unfinished projects come from, because I hit a wall and then can't get past it. Yeah.
Well, again, you're not alone there, Dim. You're definitely not alone there. I've got a box full of them.
Yeah.
It's like fucking like Sid's toys down there. You know, they're all just rotting away in celebration boxes, quality street tubs.
I've got Beast Boss on Squigosaur and a kill rig that I'm still in a box. Waiting to
I've
play
got
with.
2 kill tanks. Got 2 kill tanks and a buggy. And that stuff
Yeah.
I've started. Well, no, 1 kill tank. You know, when I haven't even started, but it's ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh, Dread says here in the
Right
comments.
now, I
he
can
says,
see
I
him being
blame...
Billy Big Bollocks in the fucking comment section.
Well,
All right, yeah.
He says, I blame my printer for my sinus issue. It started the day I started 3D printing.
Oh.
Tommy says, sniff it, you tart. Gary Hauser says, you're not supposed to snort the crap. And he started kit bashing at 10 years old. Used to go through the garbage to find parts. Now I print a part that I want, such as a gun or axe. And then he says, Dread says here, Scars Storm Boys, gonna look like Christmas fairies.
Well, he'll definitely be seeing lights when they're finished with him. We'll say that.
Keith says, not really interested in entire models you could print, but I'd love to print custom bits if I was smart enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary says,
That's what I
heads are
thought,
great to
yeah.
print.
I've had thoughts on that. But
Did anyone see the
You can't
Instagram
print
link I
thoughts.
shared
Mm.
of the
What,
3D
sorry,
printer
Clint?
guy who does all the... Anyone see the Instagram link I shared on our little WhatsApp group of the guy 3D prints like all the little toolboxes and all the tools and all that stuff?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
fuck, I missed that.
Yeah,
Jeez, I'll have
he's
a
got
look
a
at that.
whole snap-on on wheels tool chest in like 28mm scale. It looks
lovely.
phenomenal. Yeah, looks really good.
Because you get a lot of that for Gaslands. Like there's Gaslands people who like they have like an entire tray of printable bits, and you just print. You just all pre-supported, and you just chuck it in the printer and hit print. I haven't been using my printer in the longest time, but when I get it back and up and running, once I get fucking money coming in, the resin costs money. And so do new basins when you break them.
The guy, he does commissions. This guy.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, that's the thing. 'Cause, like, just to give 3D printers something. I mean, I might have had made this argument before, but there are those people that you find, particularly on like Facebook posts and stuff, who like, oh, but like when 3D printing things get mentioned, oh, why are people bringing up 3D printing things? Oh, I don't have a 3D printer. Fucking hell, mate! Like anything that you find an STL of, there is someone probably on Etsy who will either print it for you or already does. And if you go to some of the big creators like Mezgike, we've talked about Mezgike tonight. Mezgike literally has a link from his site where you can buy the STLs to go to someone who prints them. Right?
Nice.
And there's portals. I think there's portals even for different regions. I think there's even a British one who does it. And the prices for the prints, they're not as good as getting the STLs, but they ain't bad if you don't want to take all that time. And I presume it's the same for a lot of the other ones.
I don't know. So some of the stuff on Etsy I've seen, I'm like, fucking hell, that's expensive, you know?
And some of the other stuff, I've gone, fucking hell, that's cheap.
Yeah.
It
depends.
It sort of goes, it's all over the place, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, on the whole, when you were competing with Games Workshop's prices, it's very easy to be cheaper.
Yeah, but they're not.
That's the trouble. I don't think they are in a lot of cases.
The whole third parties are cheaper than GW argument is, in some cases it's going to be true, but a lot of cases...
Why are all the Grot tanks so expensive? Because it's not just GWs; they're all fucking ludicrous.
I
think that's down to GW setting the bar. I mean, that's why everything costs what it does. GW set the bar,
and then there's absolutely no reason for them to be that price. There's no reason for them to be that price when you see other things of comparable scale and squad size and everything.
Exactly.
They don't like, there's no reason for them to cost that much.
Yeah.
It's just doing it because they think, well, that's what they charge, so we can charge that.
Yeah. And vote with your wallet, don't buy from those people. Like,
Exactly.
Let them go out of business. Right. And also, if you're a dumb fuck, take your big boy money and throw it at some fucking phone king game instead. Keep that horrible industry going instead.
Yeah,
use your big dick, big idiot money somewhere else.
Yeah, splash it out on them 3 identical
use it
kits
to move out
that
your
you
mom's basement.
build 3 identical ways. Rock up to the big boy tournament. So I think we should probably bring this one to a close. Yeah, I think we've done about 2 hours there.
Yeah, I've made a grot with a what
ship's wheel.
What are the pirate steering wheels called?
That looked
it's a ship wheel.
That looks suspiciously like Bob.
It does.
You've used Bob's head, haven't you?
But why would Bim have Bob?
An imposter.
I now know that the helmet needs to be yellow.
I'm being mate. If your helmet's yellow, you need to get that looked at.
He means his cock.
Essex, the glyph looks awesome. What's the remind us what the glyph's for?
It's going to be for a big banner pole on the back of my big mech on bike.
Beautiful.
Yes.
This big mech on bike. I think most of the audience are quite excited to see this thing. I know I am.
I'm quite pleased to get it off the benches, but I made one. It was the bare bones of it was, I don't know, 10 years ago, and then I've completely dismantled it and rebuilt it. So I was never fully happy with it. It always looked a bit squat and a bit weird, and the front wheel was a bit naff, and so I've completely hacked it to pieces and kept some of the bits, but yeah, the majority of it I've completely changed.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole front end's completely changed. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. He's looking all right.
And Sid, that kill rig's looking awesome.
Not a kill rig.
It's still gonna. It should be.
I did do.
Truck, innit? Is it truck?
Well, it is a truck. I mean, it could. I'll try not to.
Is this like Dread with the bleeding battle wagon all over again? Is it?
It's a
little bit.
It's just makes the same.
It should just be a kill rig.
There's a banner I've done there. Like a wire banner. I'm trying not to show too much.
Yeah, nice.
But I forgot to put rivets on it. And I just went, I sort of went to Days and painted it. So in there, that little compartment there is actually Vallejo plastic putty mixed with gunmetal and a little dash of black to keep it darker, because the white of the putty sort of brought it quite a light silver. And I've just been putting little spots of it on, and that'll dry hopefully as a textured rivet.
Nice.
You may have just invented a new hobby product there, Sid. Just a little tube of rivets.
I love that putty now.
That putty's mint. And look.
Well, that's all someone's got to do. Someone out there mix it with a metallic paint and give us little tubes of rivets in rusty form and metal form, and that'd be awesome.
I love one. I've seen you do one recently, Clint, with it, where because when I do the rivets with it, which I do rivets all the time with it, because when I can't cost to use rivets, it's going to be too small. I try not to get the long rivet, the spike.
The point,
I try and just sort of just to make a little mound. But I've seen you do some great things with the actual spikes. So
I made a dog collar kind of.
Yeah, that was it.
All the spikes on it. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
The way you showed it as well, it looked like it was round like the barrel of a cannon or something, and so I'd like to see you utilize it like that, putting spikes around your cannons and stuff, or guns like that. Could look really cool.
It was going to be spiky now.
Yeah, like that car of one of the cars on Mad Max, isn't it? It's just absolutely bristling with spikes.
Yeah, just lots of little spikes. Yeah.
Yeah, that technique you could do a lot of like maces and all sorts of stuff, couldn't you?
Maces, wrecking balls.
Oh, hell
sort
yeah.
of stuff.
It
But
does
I
make
have-
picking them up and moving them in game somewhat of a prospect.
Yeah, a
though.
bit tricky.
I have got the rusted metals done on that tonight, as well as the
Yeah,
wood,
nice.
which has turned out to be the same colour as the fucking rusted metal, which is fantastic. And I painted the bone topping arch at the front.
Yeah, nice.
I've
That's
got
gonna
that
be
done.
so
I
cool.
figure I'll get this painted first, then I'll do the crew, because the crew's just been a blockage for us for about a week. It's like I'm constipated. I'm crew constipated. I can't bring myself to paint all the little fucking
All the
heads
little
and
dudes.
stuff.
Yeah.
But if I finish it and I need the crew, then I know I'll be motivated. I was trying to get the worst. It's like I was trying to do it, when you eat your Brussels sprouts first at your dinner, because get them with the road, and then I'll enjoy the Yorkshires and my roasties and that. I need to eat them first. Then have my man going, eat your sprouts.
Electric Krugerloo.
Well, people, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thanks for joining in the
Indeed.
chit chat and everything. Yeah, well, I don't know what we're doing on the next one yet.
We'll
we
worry
haven't-
about that
we
at
haven't
the
figured
time.
that?
I won't announce it now.
But
No,
I
let's
imagine
announce it now. Let's commit to it now.
Come
I
on.
imagine expect us to most likely be doing another live and doing some hobby with you.
I've only 3 of these left to build. Only 3. Yay.
Yeah.
That means I've 27 done.
So they might see you painting them next week.
I'll have to seal them first and then paint them. Get in there, lads. Get in there.
Well, when is the meet? How many weeks?
4 weeks, I think, isn't it? It's 4 weeks now, something like that.
8.
8 weeks, even more.
Fucking
There you go.
scared
See,
the
I'm twice
shit
as
out
long
of
as
me
I
there.
did.
Panic.
4 weeks.
At the
4
disco.
weeks.
I've got so
Yeah.
much
Stretching like
still
a
to
rabbit's
do.
nose.
No,
Well,
be good.
peeps. So, yeah. We'll see you next week. It's goodbye from Let's Go Round. Scar,
Don't forget to drill your barrels.
Essex,
Catch you on the next one.
Sid,
Take care.
Dim,
Bye.
and it's 6+ signing out.
Bye.